I love dance because even though I can't express how I feel inside, I get to just let it go. I love to improvise. To me, that's my way of talking, and I feel alive the most when I'm dancing. I was born to a family who chants Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. The reason I didn't really embrace this Buddhism when I was younger, I think I didn't want to do anything that my parents are doing. Because my parents were very busy, I remember I was home a lot by myself. I felt lonely, and I remember trying to find activities that I can do by myself, and that's where I started to cook. I love when I get to cook for other people. Originally, I wanted to help my mother so I can cook dinner before she comes home, so we can just eat together. I think that's where my passion for cooking started from. Can't remember that exact moment or when it started, but probably 13, 14 years old. Somebody at ballet school made a comment about my body, oh, you're kind of gaining weight or something like that. And I think that's when I really started to really hate my body. Yeah, every single time I would going to studio, I would just feel sad about looking at my body. When I think about it now, wow, you should just enjoy dancing. I really wish I had someone to talk about it openly. So growing up, I always had a dream about coming to America and pursue dancing, but I also struggle with confidence of just following my heart. In 2015, I actually So in 2015, actually, my older brother passed away, and I got to actually read one of his diary. To me, he was a very always successful person. I always envied him. But when I read his diary, I actually realized that he was struggling with exactly the same thing as me and had a hard time following his heart. Until then, I didn't realize how much he was suffering. I knew I had to change, or I felt like I might just go on this life feeling this way, or I can just have the courage to follow my heart. And the following year, I decided to move to Los Angeles to pursue my career as a dancer. After a year of just being in LA, I couldn't book anything. I was working at 3 different restaurants and taking dance classes and going to auditions, and I felt basically I was working very hard, but my life was not going anywhere. Mystically, I kept meeting SI members at the restaurants I work at and also dance classes. They kept me inviting to meetings and to get coffee, but I, respectfully said, thank you, my parents practice, but I do not. But I was struggling so deeply that I finally decided to get a coffee with an SI member. She was so wonderful and sweet, and she deeply listened to me. At that moment, I felt really understood and listened to for the first time in a long time. I remember I felt, oh wow, I really want to be a person like her, the person who's able to show up to really support another person. And that's the moment I decided to take on this practice seriously. So I started chanting consistently. I started to attend SI activities. It was challenging because my environment was not changing yet. I still was not booking anything. I was still working at 3 restaurants. But I started to feel more joyful, and I became more appreciative of my life. I always had this sense of pressure to be successful as an artist or dancer. I have to change how I look, and you have to be on tour with big, famous artists or even followers, things like that. But I realized that I really need to stop seeking so much validation outside of myself and really have the courage to transform my life internally. I decided that I'm going to make dance career without compromising my value. And then that's when I even became more comfortable with my own skin, and my environment also slowly started to change. I got commercial with Google Pixel, also got the model for Adidas, got to cook on a cooking show and create vegan sushi company. Also was featured in LA Times. I really try to treasure each vegetable's flavor and texture, and I think that comes from my Buddhist practice to really treasure our environment. When I chant Nam-myoho-renge-kyo, you just feel more energized. You feel the best self when you finish chanting. Because I became truly comfortable with my own skin, I think that people who hire dancers or actors really see that, and that's why I was able to have these victories where I get to show up just as myself.